Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another video. There you have it. Everton have confirmed the signing of goalkeeper Asmir Begović. Begović comes in on a free transfer and has signed a deal with Everton until 2023. The experienced Premier League goalkeeper who has of course spent time at Bournemouth, Chelsea, Stoke City as well earlier on in his career, has signed his contract with Everton and becomes Rafael Benitez's first signing as Everton manager. Of course we knew we were in for a backup goalkeeper. We needed to bring in a number two to Jordan Pickford. Asmir Begovic's name has been flying around now for the last sort of 2-3 days or so. He was spotted in the Everton shop over the weekend, so again it was pretty much, nailed on that, he's certainly the top target in Everton's list of potential number two goalkeepers to come in, and it has now been confirmed. The news that we were all waiting for, Fabrizio Romano had said last night that the deal is done and he will sign a contract until June 2023. Various other sources had said that the Begovic deal was very close, as well as obviously the deals for Andros Townsend and Demarai Gray. But I sort of felt like if out of those three players, if we were going to hear about one of them before the others, it would be Asmir Begović. He will join up with the Everton squad to go to Florida later on this week, of course, to play in the Florida Cup. And yeah, spoke about Asmir Begović a couple of times over the last couple of days or so. We spoke about him on the live stream earlier on, and I've got no big issue with Asmir Begović coming into Everton Football Club whatsoever. He's an experienced, Premier League experienced goalkeeper, had a very good time at Bournemouth. A lot of Bournemouth fans very highly rate him. Obviously he's not going to be coming in and playing every week for Everton. He is coming in to be a number two, and I think he will understand that and he will know that. Jordan Pickford, of course, being the number one, and we knew going into this summer that there was various areas on the pitch that Everton need to strengthen in, from right back to right mid to right wing to left wing to centre midfield, maybe even striker as well. And goalkeeper was one that sort of went under the radar, but effectively we needed to bring in a goalkeeper. Obviously Robin Olsen was here on loan last season. There was a time when we thought Robin Olsen would sign on a permanent contract, and then in January there was heavy rumours that he'd sign his permanent deal even before his loan deal was up. That obviously never become reality. Robin Olsen ended up leaving the football club at the end of last season, and then there was no real rumours or information regarding him, and it became apparent that Everton needed to go out in the market and bring in a solid number two. Look, I like João Virginia. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think when he stepped in for the cup game against Manchester City, he done well, but let's be honest, I don't think he's experienced enough to be a number two. I would like João Virginia to go back out on loan, maybe at a top level championship club, and get some decent game time so we can actually take a look at him over the course of a season rather than over the course of a game in the first team and then a season in the under-23s, which I don't think will really help him whatsoever. So we needed to bring in a backup goalkeeper, we needed to bring in a number two, and I think Asmir Begović is a really good option, to be perfectly honest with you. Like I said, tall, Premier League experienced, played a lot of game time in his career, done well at Chelsea, obviously Stoke prior to that, really highly rated when he was at Stoke, went to Bournemouth, he's been at AC Milan in the last couple of years as well, albeit hasn't had much game time there, but again, when you're a number two goalkeeper, you don't have an awful lot of game time, do you? And I expect that to be the situation at Everton, to be perfectly honest with you. Carlo Ancelotti last season was obviously quite unique in the way in which he rotated the goalkeepers, and Robin Olsen often played even when Jordan Pickford was fit, and Jordan would be rotated in and out. I don't think Rafael Benitez will adopt the same sort of style, and not many managers do adopt the same style, do they? Let's be honest. Most managers will have a number one goalkeeper, and that goalkeeper will play in pretty much every single game, and the number two will come in for maybe the odd cup game, or if the number one goalkeeper's injured, the number two will step in. But for the majority of the season, you'll see the number one playing, certainly in the competitive league games. And I think that's the situation that we're in this season. I think you'll see Jordan Pickford playing the majority of games as expected, and Asmir Begović will step in as and when needed, whether that be cup games or whether that be Jordan Pickford picking up an injury or a suspension, etc. And to be honest, I think Asmir Begović is more than good enough to step in and play that role. I think Asmir Begović is more than good enough to step in, if needed in Premier League games or in cup games. Like I said, very experienced goalkeeper, at a decent age for a goalkeeper as well. Again, signing that contract until June 2023, which is 2 years, which isn't too bad at all either. He is 34 years of age, Bosnian goalkeeper, of course, Bosnian international. So again, No massive issue with this signing whatsoever. Obviously, Everton have been linked with a couple of other players that have, I think, frustrated some fans. But for me, the Asmir Begović signing is no problem at all for me. I'm happy enough with it. I understand that Asmir Begović isn't going to play an awful lot for Everton, certainly not an awful lot in Premier League games, unless Jordan obviously picks up an injury or a suspension. And I think as a number 2, to provide some competition for Jordan Pickford, to give him a little bit of a kick up the bottom if need be, I think Asmir Begović is more than good enough to do that. Experienced at clubs like Chelsea. I think he won a league at Chelsea as well. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did. And again, solid career at Bournemouth as well. More recently, he did leave Bournemouth on a free after his contract ended last summer, so he's coming in for a free transfer, and I assume his wages won't be astronomical either, to be honest with you. I know there was a lot of talk around Sergio Romero from Manchester United and him coming in, but I've said it multiple times, there's a massive difference between Everton now and Everton 12 months ago. And when Sergio Romero was desperate to come to Everton 12 months ago, he was coming to Everton on, I think, the basis that he could potentially be the number 1 goalkeeper. The feelings around Jordan Pickford were very mixed back then. And there was a lot of fans who were wanting to replace Jordan Pickford rather than wanting to bring in a goalkeeper to be his understudy. And I think now, obviously 12 months later, Jordan's had a fantastic end to the season, a brilliant Euros tournament as well. I think now we're all in agreement that whoever was to come in as the backup goalkeeper would be the backup goalkeeper and Jordan would be number 1. And I don't think Sergio Romero would happy be doing that. Let's be honest, he wasn't happy being the number 2 or the backup goalkeeper at Manchester United. So why would he be happy being the backup goalkeeper at Everton Football Club? And obviously, I think Sergio Romero's wages would have been significantly higher than what Asmir Begovic's are as well. So there you go. Everton confirm, and Rafael Benitez confirms his first signing as Everton manager. Asmir Begović comes in and will join up with the Everton squad ahead of the Florida Cup. I assume he'll play in the Florida Cup as well. Jordan, I'm not too sure whether Jordan Pickford will be travelling with the squad. Obviously, he's probably still on holiday, recovering from the Euros. So I would assume he wouldn't make the Florida Cup. So in that case, Asmir Begović will obviously get quite a bit of game time over there, and we'll be able to see him for the first time in an Everton shirt. So yeah, again, like I said, happy enough with this transfer. Ultimately, look, there's only so much excitement you can bring about a number 2 goalkeeper coming in, knowing that he's probably not going to get an awful lot of game time at Everton. But like I said, as number 2 goalkeepers, come, I think Asmir Begović is a pretty solid option. Premier League experience, like I said, top goalkeeper, decent age for a goalkeeper as well, tall, physical, and yeah, got no issue with it whatsoever. Let us know your thoughts on Asmir Begović signing for Everton Football Club in the comments section down below. Everton obviously have been heavily linked with Andros Townsend and Damari Gray over the last 48 hours or so as well. So we could be back here within the next couple of days talking about Andros Townsend becoming an Everton player, maybe Damari Gray. Dwight McNeil's name was mentioned today as well, albeit the Dwight McNeil situation is in its very early stages, whereas the Andros Townsend and Damari Gray stuff seems to be a lot more advanced. But Everton's first signing of the summer is goalkeeper Asmir Begović. Let us know your thoughts on it in the comments section down below. If you have enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Massive thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.